Welcome to the Code Focus channel. In this video, I'll be walking you through the build process for a fully responsive and reusable header/navbar component built fully with React. We will use the useState and useEffect hooks for functionality, and we will use SCSS modules for styling. Towards the end, I'll show you how to implement the React Router Standard library and how to then connect your Navbar links so that your application has full routing capabilities. We will also use some custom hooks for functionality. So here's the end result. It has a logo section displayed to the left and a nav section displayed to the right. We have achieved the spacing with CSS flexbox. Each link has a custom hover and active state styling, and the same goes for the call to action button. On window resize, which I will show you in developer tools, the nav links disappear at a certain width and a hamburger menu icon appears. There's also a bit of an animation you can see. When clicked, a nav menu will open. It'll slide in via animation, and the nav links and buttons will be present within the menu. The hover and active state styling remains the same. Also, the hamburger menu icon turns into a close icon. When clicked, the hamburger menu icon will reinstate. And if the menu is open and we resize the window at a certain width, it'll automatically close, and the nav links will appear as they were positioned initially. All of the links, the logo, and the call to action button are clickable and will redirect you to the page they represent. If the menu is open and we click one of these links, the menu will automatically close as we are redirected. We will achieve this routing functionality with React Router DOM, and you can style these pages however you'd like. Now that we've gone over the finished component, we can start building. Alright, to build this component, we're going to be using Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever text editor you want, but we will be using this for this tutorial. So go ahead and find the directory you want to work in. I'm going to go ahead and create one here called Navbar. Drag and drop into VS Code. Okay. Go ahead and open the terminal, and we're going to do npx create React app. Period. What this will do is create a React boilerplate, so we can start our project. And the period here makes it so the boilerplate is installed within this directory. So go ahead and install that. To do this, you have to have Node installed on your system. So make sure you have Node. All you have to do, let's go to Node.js and install whatever one of these you want. I recommend this one. Recommended for most users. This one has the latest features, but yeah, don't stress over this. Do whatever one you want. So while this is installing, I'll go over the extensions you'll need. So go ahead and type in prettier. We're going to need prettier. I recommend using that. Install ESLint. It's good for debugging. And ES7 snippets will streamline the component creation process. So once the Create React app is done installing, you'll see Happy Hacking here. And we can go right, let me make this bigger for you. We can go into the source folder. This is the only folder we will be working in. We can go ahead and delete the files that we do not need. App CSS we don't need. App test not needed. Logo, goodbye. 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 Now head on over into index.js. Get rid of report web vitals. Strict mode, don't need it. Just make sure your app is in there. We can take out these imports as well. Okay, go ahead over to index.css. take everything out. Let's actually delete this file as well. Don't need it. App. Take all this out. Boom. Okay, now let's make a styles folder. And within here, we're going to do index.scss. Okay, and index.js, go ahead and import styles index.scss. Okay, we'll also make it variables. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Variables.scss. And to make nodes, to make SASS work in a React app, you have to install this node SASS. So npm install node SASS within your terminal. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead over to Google Fonts and get the fonts we'll need. Open up Google Fonts, type in Poppins. I love Poppins, it's my favorite font. I use it for pretty much all my personal projects. So go ahead and get 400 and 500, 600, 800 and 700. We're not going to be using all those, but I like to have them just in case. Copy the import and paste it right into here, the variables.scss file. Okay, go back to here, grab this, copy, and within index, we can do body. We'll paste the font family, but we're actually gonna cut this part out. So do Control X, go to variables, and to make a variable, it's a $, and we'll say Poppins, and we're gonna paste what we cut, save it, go here, back to index.scss, and import the variables file. There it is. Oh, make sure you have a semicolon so that doesn't happen. And for font family, we'll go ahead and put that variable here. So Poppins. Awesome. And before we forget, let's go ahead and do a global, whatever it's called, do box sizing, border box, and a margin 0. Great. So now we're going to go back to variables and we're going to get our colors going and our spacing, our border radius, and our header height. So colors, dark, RGB, 29, 29, 29, and light. We'll go with just a plain white. And a primary color we'll do RGB 162, 162, and 246. You can do any color you want, but that's what I'm going to go with. And for background, RGB 244, 244, 255. Colors are done. Now on the spacing, we'll do spacing medium, 16 pixels, and spacing large, 32 pixels. Border radius, do a border radius of 12 pixels. Oh, camel case this. And header height. Since we use this in multiple places, I like to make a variable of it. And we'll say 100 pixels. Okay, now we're also going to make a mix in here. It's pretty simple. So do @mixin, breakpoint, and pass in point. Do an if point is equal to medium, which will be 768 pixels, and media min width 48 EM, which translates to 768 pixels. And then put content in here. Great. Now we can use this across our whole project. Awesome. Let's go back to index.css. We'll do a nice width in here. Set it to 100%. And we'll do color in here for a global color. And we'll say dark. Great. I also like to do this with the root. I'll do height 100%. Okay, awesome. Up next, we're going to create a components folder within our source folder. Okay, and we'll also create a pages while we're at it. Get all the folders out of the way. Pages. Okay, so within components, make a header.js file, RAFCE. This is React snippets, the extension we installed earlier. If you go ahead and press tab here, it'll create a functional component for us right off the bat. Great. So here we can, let's just save as it is. Go back to components folder and do header.module.scss. Import the variables. There we go, semicolon. Great. Now we can go back to header and make this div into a header. Give it a class name of classes.header. And we forgot to import classes, so let's do that right now. So import classes from /header.module.scss. Great. Okay, now we'll go into header module and we'll do .header. Awesome. Go back here. I guess we'll build out this full component, all the JSX for it, and then we'll get into the styling. We'll do div. Class name is equal to classes.header content. And within here, we'll have a H2 that says Navbar. And that's going to be our logo. Awesome. Now I'll make a nav. Give it a class name of classes.header. Oh, what's going on here? I didn't put an equal sign. Okay. Classes.header content nav. Within the nav, make a UL, LI, and A. And we'll just do that for now. We'll say page 1. And then take this LI with the link inside of it and copy and paste it down. To do that, all I'm doing is Alt, Shift, and then the down arrow. And do that 3 times, so we have 3 here. Page 1, page 2, page 3. Okay, and then below the UL, make a button. And we'll say CTA page. Wonderful. Okay, next up is a div under that nav. We'll give this a class name of classes.header content toggle. Each word divided by 2 underscores. Okay, so now we're going to need to import another thing. So do npm install React icons, because we're going to use React icons to have our menu icons, our hamburger and our clothes. So when that's done, you can close the terminal and go to the top. We'll go ahead and import these. So we'll do import by menu alt right. from, okay, I can't type, from React icons /by. And the second one will be AI outline. Close and make the React icons folder point to AI. Okay, now we're going to be using state in a little bit, but for now, or use state to switch between these two icons. But for now, I'm just going to put the hamburger John in here. Awesome. All right, open up the terminal and do npm start. This will start our application and run it on localhost 3000. So it'll open it up for you automatically. All right, so we have a problem here. Let's go ahead and fix it real quick. Go to app.js and take this out. Take out the CSS import. All right, should be good to go now. All right, so now we have our application open, and we can see the changes as we make them. So within the app component, what we'll do is render the header. So we'll make a fragment here. Within the fragment, do header. Import it. And there we go. Now you can see everything we put in the header component is here, but it is lacking styling. So let's go ahead and start that. So we'll do a mobile first workflow here. So whatever changes we make, it'll be ready for the mobile version. And then we'll add the breakpoint mix-in to make it work for larger screens. Do background dark for the header, boom. Width of 100%. And then for the height, if you remember, we made a variable for that, so we'll do header height. Great. And for padding, 0 on top and 1.5 rem for the left and the right. And here we're gonna put our first breakpoint. So do include or at include breakpoint and medium. And we'll put padding 0 for the top and 3 for the sides. So when we expand this, you can see the padding increases at a certain width. Great. And we'll actually make a transition for this. So we'll do transition 0.3 seconds, ease all. Now you can see it eases. There it is. You see that? Awesome. Next up, we'll work on the content. Do overflow hidden. Oh, I'll do 2 semicolons. Color light. Margin 0 for the top and auto on the left and the right so that it is centered. Max width of 1920 pixels. That is so larger screens you can zoom out and here I'll show you. So when we zoom out, it remains in the same place. The max width of that component will remain at 1920. I don't know if that makes sense. Do height 100%. Display flex. Great. And like I said earlier, we're going to be using flexbox to space the logo and the nav links. So here we'll do align item center and justify content space between. Okay, so we actually messed up in the header component. What I meant to do was have the h2 give this a class name of classes.header content logo, right? And then have the header content div contain everything. So bring this div closing tag all the way to the bottom. And now it should work. So on larger screen, you can see everything is spaced. Alright, so we're done the styling. As you can see, it works pretty well already. Now all I have to do is implement some state. So when we click this, the menu state is active and this will be opened and everything. You'll see the menu. Okay. We have a problem here where Alright, so now we're going to make a layout component that will wrap everything else. Now we're going to do React Router DOM. So open up your terminal, split terminal, and do npm install React Router DOM. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave recommendations in the comment description on what I should do in the future. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.